So today we have a question from a listener. Okay. So just to kind of set the stage, what would you do if your man broke up with you and still wanted to be friends? What would you do? I wish I could hear your responses right now. So this is her question. She asked, what advice would you give a woman right after breaking up with a man who asked for space but wanted her to wait for him to work on himself? He even asked to be friends. Right? So let's get into that. Let's just jump right in. Now, I responded to the listener already, but I wanted to bring it here because I think it's a good conversation to talk about. And because I know a lot of us have gone through this. I know I've gone through this on both sides of it. So I said to her, I would advise the woman to think about what does she want, right? Like literally think about what you want. Yes, the breakup, we both agreed on it. You know, everyone has their feelings about it. They want to be friends with you. Okay. But still, like checking in with yourself to be like, what do I actually want from this? Do I want anything from this? Am I down with this friend plan? Do I want to even entertain any parts of this? Right? That's one of the first things I'm thinking about. Second thing is, does she want to wait for him to get it together? Do you have the patience for that? Are you cool with waiting for that? Not a big deal, right? I'm cool to wait while we're friends, right? Here's something else I just thought about. Do we need to be friends while I wait? You know, if it's understood that I'm out here waiting, right? It gets more complicated, of course. Just things to think about. If yes, if you do want to wait, what does waiting even look like? Right? Is the woman dating other people? Is he dating other people? Are we talking about when we date other people? Are we talking about times if we're hooking up, having sex with other people? Right? Are we still having sex with each other? Is this friends with benefits? Well, we were want to ask, forgot to ask. Is it friends with benefits? Are we just like legit friends? Right? If I'm dating other people, are you cool with that? Am I cool with that? Right? In this period of wait, if the answer, of course, is yes, I'll wait. In this period of wait, are we traveling? Are we just kind of going through life, not doing anything because we're waiting? I want to wait for him so I travel to Bali. So I always want to travel to Bali with the partner. Like maybe that's an ideal that you have in your head. Are we traveling with friends? Are we traveling with family? Are we doing solo adventures in this period of wait? Right? Basically, are we still being active in our own lives? Are we still showing up in our own lives while we're waiting? What about communication? Right? Are we communicating with this person regularly? Are we saying maybe once a week as friends because we do have this romantic history? Are we like, we'll see what happens? Like, no boundaries, just like we'll just jump in and see where the weather and the mood and the air takes us, right? Are we no contact? Are we still doing a friends game, right? Like, what does the waiting period look like? The tricky part of all of this is a lot of us want our cake and eat it too. Of course, I would want to have this person wait over here for me while I'm figuring my life out over here and knowing that I can always go back home to you, metaphorical home to you when I'm ready and you're going to be there. Of course, we all want that. So, my thing with this is like, if he wants space and also still wants to keep like his hooks in her, if it's a situation, I just want to keep my hooks in you and make sure the doors aren't closed on me, right? What type of boundaries need to be set? Going back to what I said before, is this a friends with benefits situation if we're having our hooks in each other? Is it still going to be romantic, right? Am I still going to require the same type of respect and attention and capacity to hold space for me for each other while we're in this waiting friend period, right? Do we even know what we're waiting on? So what is the working on self, right? Like what is that? Is that like going to therapy? Is that finishing your degree? Is that just kicking a rock around, just getting mental space, emotional space? Like what is that? Because what we don't want to do is return back to the relationship the same way we left it, because then we'll just repeat what just happened, right? Like what's going to be different moving forward? You know, again, what does contact look like? How often are we communicating with each other? She'll have to determine what boundaries will make her feel most protected and not operate in fear or loss. Right? It's really easy to be like, I want to be with this person. They need to work on themselves. So I'm just going to basically maneuver my life in the way that doesn't really change anything. So when he does come back, I'm available. Right? Maybe this is something I've been through before, actually. There was a situation, I can't really put all the pieces together right now, but I know there's a situation where I wanted to move to a certain city because like a boyfriend, a love interest, whatever of mine was living in there, living there. And so I applied to that school. I got in, but in the period of all that, him and I had like fell out of contact. And so I had to decide, well, am I really going to move there because of him? Am I going to move there because of the school that I was going to get my master's degree in? Right. I had to figure that out. I didn't move there. I could have moved there in hopes that we'll get back together and all work out. And now that, all I need to do is uproot my life and move out there. And so when we do, and, I'll already be there. Right? Like, what are we doing in this waiting period? Are we still setting up our lives so you can just easily slip back in? Or are we like, you know what? I've actually always wanted to go to Hawaii for my master's program. Why don't I do that? Versus like, hey, I know you're working on yourself and I know you want some space, but should I still go to Hawaii? Um, I'm just trying to see where your head is, right? I definitely say have those conversations, right? If you're called to do that, also think about what are you gonna do for your own life. This is still you operating for yourself. I respect when people ask for space. I respect that because my hope is that you're saying, you're not ready, you're not able to show up in the way that you want to show up, maybe how that person needs you to show up, and that's okay. Just like, let's be very clear on the wait. Is this a forever wait? Is this a 6 month, 3 month, 2 month, 2 years wait? Right. And I hope that for this person, I hope that you're also really thinking about what you want to see in your next relationship moving forward. If with him, if with someone else, what do we learn about ourselves from this past relationship? Right. What are things we want to shift? What are questions we want to ask moving forward? How did this person, I'm just really just thinking now, how did this person know they needed space? Like, what was happening? How were you a part of that in any way? Right? Not this separate from blaming. This is more like, I realized every time I would ask this person if they want kids, they would always say they're not sure. And I know that I really want children. I know that is within me. I really want children. He's always on the fence. And so now we've talked about this topic so much, it's getting uncomfortable. There's tension growing. And now he's like, I need space because I don't really know what I want. Maybe my next relationship, or maybe when we come back together, we need to be very clear. I want children. Do you want children? Yes or no? Right? Does that make sense? Right? Respect the space. Cool. That sounds good. Waiting. If you want to do that, what does waiting look like for you if you choose to really, really, really hammer that out? Also knowing things could change. Things are allowed to change. Maybe for the first month, you're like, I'll wait. After that, you're like, you know what? See ya. Right? I don't know. Just thinking about that. If we want to wait, what does it look like? How did I show up? What did I learn about myself? What did I learn about relationships? What am I looking for next time? How am I going to keep living my life? Right? I'm really proud of you for letting the space happen and not being like, no, we'll work it out. Like, I'm here a lot. Like, respecting, like, believing what people say. Same thing if someone was like, I'm not ready for a relationship, but we kick around and we stay anyways. We think we're going to change your mind. If someone's saying I need space and get my life so I can get my affairs in order, okay, let's believe that. Let's believe what they're saying. They need to get their affairs in order and they need space. Cool. All right. Here's your space. So I hope that was helpful. Please keep sending in your listener letters. Love to get them. Love to talk about them more. If you have questions, please reach out. Let's do more of these and hope this was helpful. I believe in you. You got this. Check in with self. We'll go from there. All right. Until next time. Bye.